I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the performers that you've had the privilege to work with. Eric Braeden.
Eric Braeden, a very accomplished actor, who has said many times he is so lucky, he said, to play the parts that he has played, which is heavy, and to become a romantic lead. And for the years that he's played, he's very grateful for that. Eric in his element is fantastic.
Melody Thomas Scott.
Melody Thomas Scott is an excellent, excellent actress. And she has brought Nikki to life. I think she has not been recognized as fully as she should be. I think she's just totally delightful actress, talented actress.
Peter Bergmann.
Peter Bergmann is a pro in every sense. He's almost military. In fact, he comes from a military background. I guess maybe that's why he's so good. Peter is exact. He understands everything he's doing, and he projects that to an audience, which makes him very comfortable.
Jess Walton.
Jess Walton again. It seems like everybody I'm talking about is just superb, and they are. And that's why they were cast, but they've grown into the roles that they have, too. Jess is a marvelous adversary in any scene you're doing. She will give and take, and that's what acting is all about. It's act and react, act and react. And she just is, it's fun every time I know that we're working together. It's a joy.
She eventually replaced Brenda Dixon.
Brenda Dixon, I think, the original Jill, is the Jill that Bill Bell described when he described the character of Jill Foster. On the head. She was on the head, I quote him and said, she's exactly the person I pictured. And unfortunately, she married and then decided not to sign again, and whatever difficulties. I love her. I adore her. We have been good friends. And my 3 kids, who are now all grown adults, God, are they ever? But Brenda would walk across the street to say hello, or yell across the street, "Hey, Corbin, Colin, Karen." So there's many lovely memories of Brenda. And Brenda was just trampy enough to be the kind of person that Bill Bell imagined Jill to be. Jess is a different interpretation, but just as delightful.
Juliana McCarthy.
Only one, Elizabeth Foster. Juliana McCarthy is the ultimate actress. She comes from stage, but she's ultimate. She's 100% in any scene. She's secure, makes you feel secure. And we had some of the greatest moments together on that show. I cherish them.
Quinn Whitaker.
Quinn Whitaker makes a woman feel as though she was queen for a day every day, until you realize he goes on and on about you. Say, "I'm not really a queen." You say, "No, but I think you are." Quinn Whitaker, a master of timing and just a master at being natural. And the laughter in his voice, even in sad scenes, it made him something very special. He's another one of a kind talent.
Kate Linder.
Kate Linder, dear Kate Linder, faithful maid that she is. Kate, we developed a thing where I pay no attention to her because she'd be doing, as an actress, we'd be in scenes together and I'd be ordering her about, turn to look at her, and she'd have a look on her face that I'd break out laughing if I kept looking at her. So I just dismiss it with a wave of a hand because it kept me from laughing and breaking up and ruining a scene. And that's how that relationship came about. She just would crack me up. I just look at her and crack up because she had this strangest look on her face every time I would look at her.
Tracy Bregman.
Tracy Bregman, little girl who grew into just a lovely, lovely. She would be the soubrette in a light opera. She's the ingenue in anything, but now that she's grown into a full-fledged lady, she's a force to be dealt with at all times, and probably one of the loveliest human beings I've ever met. Heart and soul, and is the salt of the earth.
Laura Lee Bell.
Laura Lee Bell, first met her when she was 4 years old, this little blonde running around. Little did I know that she'd be raped by Michael, Lauren's husband. That's Tracy Bregman's husband. Laura Lee she was put into a situation by her father on the show, and she took all kinds of comments and criticisms from other people, the boss's daughter, that's why she's doing this or that. But this girl has a natural talent and is probably one of the funniest young ladies you'll ever be around in your lifetime. In fact, my son Corbin, when he wrote Carpool Guys, where there's nothing but all of us in daytime that are in it, he cast Laura Lee as the romantic lead in it. She's as natural and as giving. I don't know how she's escaped not being in a primetime series or a movie, but she's also highly intelligent, and she's now graduated from daytime into the internet, where she has her 3-minute comedies. She's a producer.
Bob Colbert.
Bob Colbert, major talent. One of the great voices. Were he born at another time and the Shakespearean Company was out and about, he would be doing Hamlet every night. He's a poet. He's he's not an in-depth actor, but whatever he says or does makes him so.
Michael Damian.
Michael Damian, very talented young man, very, very talented. I hope now he's getting his fulfillment in directing, because that's basically where his talents lie, is in creating. I'd like to see him do a musical, direct a musical. A good actor, but a favorite popular actor. He's popular. And there's always market for that, always.
Judith Chapman.
Judith Chapman has so much confidence in herself. And if she doesn't, you would never know it. But she takes a character and she draws blood from that character. She so hits it on the nail. If she wants to go over the top with it, she can. She gives the director everything that he or she needs. And if they want to pull it back, they can, because she's never, ever been guilty of underplaying anything. But she knows what the character is, and she knows what she's going to do with the character. She's very talented lady, very talented. Maury Amsterdam, funniest man I have ever acted with. It's impossible to act opposite him, you understand. You have to improv your entire scenes. Maury would do a marvelous thing. He thought he was hired. He really did. And this is Ed Scott's fault, because he would say to Ed every morning, "Now, these are the jokes I got for today." Now, Ed would say, "Well, okay, you can do this one and that one." And that was his fault that he thought, and to play the cello. I didn't even know he played cello. When it found that cello was in a scene, and then they had to start rewriting everything, because Maury, so genuine, so genuine and loving and kind, and he was supposed to be a killer if he had to be. And he would say to Ed, "Oh, poor Gunnar, I'm a benevolent killer. Benevolent." You know, he'd hold a gun and you go, and he'd drop the gun. So it was very difficult to say this is a serious scene and look him in the face. It was like looking Esther in the face and not wanting to laugh, because you knew he was doing stand-up all the time, but he was good in what he did. It was marvelous, you know. They wanted Mickey Rooney for the part to begin with. And Mickey said he'd love to do it. They told him how much money he would make, and he said, "Are you kidding? That wouldn't even pay alimony for one of my wives." So Maury, I felt it was an experience in my lifetime. It was an experience in my lifetime because you had to be thinking every single minute, and try and keep your character intact, and act against his deliveries. It was wild. It was difficult at the time, but I look back on it now, it gave me some of my fondest memories.